Okay then folks, good morning and welcome to Humanities. For the next 4 weeks we're going to investigate different geographical issues. What is an issue then? Okay, well look at the problems on the page. Is Alex Ferguson the best manager ever? Is David Moyes better? Do you really think so? Well, that's an issue. Okay, we are debating it, we're arguing it. Or, even better, why do some lucky men like Mr. Mooney, Mr. Gibson, Mr. Cook lose their hair? Are they really lucky? Do you know? I don't. So then, how do we then investigate the issue? Well, we need to look at evidence. And we need to find differences, link evidence, and reasons for what's happening. So, let's have a go here. When Manchester United won the European Cup, why have they won it? What, are they good? What's made them good? Similar, does that link to any other pictures on the photograph? What about the sportsmen? What about the leaders? Why are they good leaders? What are the reasons behind them? So, starter, let's talk about geography. Where is India? Have a look at the task on the bottom right hand side and study the information. Can you use it to describe the location and climate of India? Whereabouts in the world is it? What continent is it in? Is it in the north? Is it in the south? Is it large? Is it big? What about its climate? Look at the graph. The dots show the temperature. The bars show the rainfall. When is it hottest? When is it coldest? Is it a similar temperature all year? Is it hot? Is it cold? How does that compare to the UK? When does it rain the most? Or does it rain the same amount each year? Answer those questions to describe the geography of India. Right, now this is interesting. We're now going to identify issues to debate, to discuss. Look at the picture. See if you can identify aspects that either show India is rich or poor, or both. Have you got a tennis court? Have you got a swimming pool? Have you got a balcony? Are you rich? Or look at the house on the left hand side. What do they show? Are they as rich? What interesting things do you see? What are things made out of? Right, now you've done that, use the grid to write some questions that you can investigate. On the left hand side, the words what, where, when, who, why and how begin questions. So use them first and see if you can combine them with the question with the stems on the top. Does, did, can, could, will and might. Write 6 questions that you want to investigate about India. For example, why is India poor? Right, now investigating. On your sheet, you've got different sources of information. So let's start with some pictures. These pictures, do they show India as rich or poor? If there's a car, is it rich? If there's 7 people on a bike, is it poor? What's the little boys doing? Are they working? What are they doing to work? Why sweep up the rubbish? Keep it clean? Are you going to sell it? Why would you want to sell it? Sell rubbish? Look at the picture of the street. What are the houses made out of? What's that stream running down the middle? Is it clean? Is it hygienic? What is it? Now look at these statistics. Interesting. Interesting. Really interesting. If the United Kingdom were your home instead of India, you would have 50% less babies. So there's less babies born in the United Kingdom than in India. Okay? You would use 12 times more electricity. Interesting. Why? Why do we use more electricity than Indians? Why are you less likely to have AIDS? What other information on there shows that India is rich or poor? Now, this is interesting. A new company called Cooves has tried to emulate ASOS in India. Read the article. Find interesting facts and figures out. Are all Indians rich? Are all Indians poor? Do you have to have a mobile phone to be rich? How many people have got mobile phones? Does that make them rich? What do? Why do they want to buy clothes like we do on the internet? Why? Now, look at this. This graph shows the different parts of the economy working in India and the United Kingdom. If you work in primary economy, and that's green on your bar chart, that means you work on the land in farming. If you work in secondary, that means you work in a factory making something. If you work in tertiary, the orange on your bar graph, you provide a service. So, a teacher provides a service, somebody who answers a telephone call provides a service, a nurse provides a service. Okay, they don't make anything, but they give you something. They give you their time. So, look at the pictures. Which farm is more productive? The one with the cattle? The one with the combine harvesters? Which factory has got the most people working in it? Right, I always think I'm rich if I've got a nice house. What about you? Well, the nicer the house, maybe you're more rich. Which houses do you think are in the countryside? Which do you think are in the cities? Okay, now more graphs. Okay, these pie charts show if people live in the countryside or in the towns and cities, and how that's changed in the last 60 years. Where do most people live in India? The countryside or cities? Are people moving into the city or are they leaving the city? What about the UK? Is it similar or is it different? In which country do most people live? In the city, India or the UK? Look at the pictures of the houses on the outside. Which houses are in the UK? Which houses are in India? Which are the nicest houses? Where would you live? What are they made out of? What does that show? Are they in the countryside or are they in the city? Now, use your second grid to write your questions in and find evidence and use it to link it, then make your judgment about is India a rich or poor place. Thank you. You've been watching BBC Bolton St Catherine's Academy TV.